Hi, good evening, all of you, dear. God bless you. Good evening, all of you. God bless you, dear. How are you doing? Yeah, hi, Rishikesh. Good evening, Sigmund. Good evening, Sandeep, Shilpa, all good evening, dear. Yeah, good evening, dear. God bless you. How are you doing? Great. Great, dear. Very good, very good. Very good. Okay, nice, yeah. Okay, what we are going to do is that I remember last time we were unable to complete the session, okay, and we had to log out. So we will be taking an extra BCF, okay, for that. So what I will do is that without losing any more time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with what we were actually doing. So what I'll do is that I'll just send across the PPT to you and we will just start it across there. Okay, so we will not lose any more time because we have five chapters, I think, to go, and I will try to complete them, but I don't think in one session I'll be able to. However, I will try my best. Okay. In the meantime, if you have any questions, anything which you would like to ask me, I'll be too glad to answer there. So you can just type your question. In the meantime, we will start off with sending you the PPT. Okay? We'll take a pause and I'm sending the PPT. Okay, good. I purposefully waited for some time. Your batch, there are very, very few people who log in. I even saw in the PCB, very few people coming in. Second semester and not even 37 people, 38 people. So that's a very poor score, yeah. And even in the PCB, in second semester, in all the other, batches which we take pura, big rooms, but this time we have a small room. We have a small room there. Okay. Hi, Rishikesh is asking me, sir, I missed which chapter? Okay, Manav here. Hi, Manav. Okay, great. Okay, so we will start with straight. How many people were there in the first session? So that when I did an introduction of strategic management, how many people were there? How many people are not there? Let me ask you this. How many? So I know what to do. How many people are not there? Say no. How many people are not there? Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so you were not there in the first. Okay, I will start with very simply. I'll start fast with what is strategic management. See, strategic management, the word strategic comes from the Greek word which is called as strategia. What is strategy? Strategia was a word which was used by the Greeks during military operations. When they were fighting the enemy, they were calling it as a rival and the battlefield. If you look at today, the battlefield is the marketplace and the rivals are competitor. Dear friends, a strategy, therefore, is a word which is used only when it is competition. If there is no competition, we do not need a strategy. A plan is just enough. I'm repeating. If you do not have competitors, you do not need a strategy. A plan is enough, which means in technical terms that if we are in a monopolistic market, okay, where we have only one monopolistic market, then we require only a plan. But if you are in an oligopoly market, then you require a strategy. Dear friends, every good company has got a strategy or a strategic management process in place. Now, how this strategic management process works? The first thing which is important in a strategic management process is the mission and vision of the company, which means that what is the vision of the company as it moves ahead? Why we are here? What is the mission for? Now, the vision and mission of a company is the first step toward the strategic management process. Once that is clear and clearly defined and articulated, then in order to meet that mission and vision, company needs to have a very clear-cut goals and objectives. They need to convert in small terms the goals and objectives to meet their mission and vision. Once you have your goal and objective clear, obviously you know that this is what we need to achieve. Therefore, at that point in time, you need to do a SWOT analysis. What is SWOT analysis? Strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. So we need to do a SWOT analysis, which is how we are today and what we want to do. That is the goal and the objective. In order to bridge the gap between what we are, where we are today, and what we want to do in the future, we will get options. And which is the right option to take is very important. Therefore, strategic formulation comes into play. How and what strategy we need to use to meet our objectives. So I drew a diagram last time, right, which I will just show you again. So the first thing which I spoke about was our mission and vision. And when this is the first thing we said, mission and vision, once our mission and visions are clear, we will be clearing our goals and objectives. That what are the different goals and objectives that we need to have very clearly defined so that we will be able to reach our mission and vision. When we do our goals and objective in dotted line, we need to understand what is our SWOT. SWOT is strength, weakness, opportunities, and threat. We need to understand what is our SWOT. Once we understand what is our SWOT and the goals that we need to achieve, we need to formulate a strategy. I call it strategic formulation. We need to formulate a strategy as to what are the strategy that we need to do so that we are able to meet our goals and objective, and between where we are and between where we want to go, what are the various options that are there, and which is or are major or main options we will take depending on our SWOT analysis. So we do strategic formulation. Dear friend, if you look at till now, what is important here is that these three are there on the top management decides that. Only the top management decides what they need to do. The top management decides. But formulation of a strategy by itself is important, yes, but more important is how are you implementing the strategy. So strategic implementation process. How do you go about implementing the strategy? Now this implementation of the strategy has to be there under all hierarchical level in the organization, and if it is a corporate, a big corporate, then it has to be done at every level. So another thing is, like I gave an example, let's say it is Tata. Tata is one company which is held by Tata Sons, right, which is held by Tata Sons, as you all know. Now, if Tata is a company, Tata has got various companies called as TCS, probably Tata Steel, Tata Motors, Taj Hotels. Okay, so you have probably different companies that Tata has, and in this company, let's say TCS, which Tata has, now these are all called as business units. What are they called as? BU, business unit. Tata Sons, the corporate holding company, has got different companies like TCS, Tata Steel, Tata Motors, etc., etc., etc. These are all called as business units. If you look at it, that when I just explained the word strategy to you, if you look at this particular example, TCS as one company is different than Tata Motors, is different than Taj Hotels, because these operate in different businesses, and these have got your own set of competitors, a different market which they cater to with a different target audience, different products and services. And therefore, since these operate in different units, it is called as a strategic business unit, which is SBU. I wrote as SBU, which is Strategic Business Unit, which means that Tata Sons has got a CS, which is a corporate strategy. CS, I've written, is a corporate strategy, and you have different businesses which are called as business unit, and therefore you also have a business level strategy. I call it BLS, a business level strategy. But dear, important thing is, when you have a business level strategy, if you look at TCS, TCS has got different functional departments in its own organization. Tata Steel will have different functional departments in its own organization. Tata Motors will have different functional department in its own organization. Therefore, if you say TCS, let us say you may have an IT, you may have an HR, you may have a sales and marketing. Now, these are different departments or divisions in the organization. So these also are called as functional departments, FD, functional departments or functional unit. And we also need to have a functional unit level strategy, FULS. We need to also have a functional unit level strategy, which means that whenever we are actually formulating, coming back here, whenever we are actually formulating a strategy, this is done at the top level. Tata and all the top guys, which becomes the board of directors or becomes of the Tata Sons, they all of these head guys are here in the board, So they decide the corporate strategy, and when these guys go back to their respective company, they decide the business unit strategy, and then the functional departments in the organization decides the functional level strategy, which means you have CS plus BS plus business unit plus FULS, right? Three different units which we have to do, which means therefore coming back here, strategic formulation is done at the top level here, but what is very important is the implementation, because implementation needs to be done at all the levels. It has to be done at all the levels. People who are there in PCP, right? I explained you an example there. I remember now. Yeah, I just remember, talking to you. I remember. Where is that Murtuza fellow was there? है ना, Murtuza, same group, right? Who were then in PCP? I used his example, right? Anyone there who was in PCB? Am I right? Am I talking to the right class? I'm finding out. Yes. So I remember, right? So yeah. So I remember. So I'm on the right track. Okay. Is Murtuza there? Probably no, na? Anyway. Okay, so we have therefore strategic implementation. So what is important is the strategic implementation. But dear, implementation जब आप करेंगे, so ये important है that we need to continuously evaluate what is happening. We need to continuously evaluate what is happening. If we do not evaluate what is happening, then in such a situation, what will happen is that we don't know whether the strategy which we formulated and we are implementing is in the right direction. Because when we formulated a strategy in the first place, friends, at that point in time, we just looked at the environment which was there then, right? Environment which was there then. We just looked at that, But we did not look at the environment which is going ahead, right? We did not look at that environment which is going ahead. What is therefore important, very, very important is execution is one part of it. Execution is one part of it. What is very important is we also need to control. Yeah, we also need to control. And this entire thing is called as a strategic management process, S they should analyze the industry. When they're talking about analyzing the environment, they should look at both the macro environment as well as the micro environment. Both the environment they have to look at. And I will talk to you about that in chapter number 2 and 3. And then obviously your mission, objective, goals are there. And then we have a corporate level strategy, which I explained to you here, corporate level strategy. So these are the 5 chapters which are there for your first term or for your midterm examination. These are only the 5 things. So I've just introduced it there. I'm repeating. Strategic management process, therefore, is a very important part of any strategic building process. Every company, every organization, every corporate needs to have a strategy in place if it is operating in an environment which is an oligopoly environment. Oligopoly means you have more than one competitor. If you have more than one competitor, you need a strategy in the first place. So strategic formulation process therefore starts with first mission and vision of the company. What is the company's vision and what is the mission? Why are they here? This mission and vision obviously has to be therefore transferred into goals and objectives. Okay, what are the goals and objectives that need to be done, that need to be articulated, that need to be formulated to meet the mission and vision? Once you make a goal, obviously you will see where are you at this point in time, which is your SWOT analysis. So when we do a SWOT analysis, we will see that where are we at this point in time. When we are able to see what are we at that point in time, you know what happens? Very simply is you will get a lot of options as to what are the different things that we need to do to achieve our goals and objectives. So once you are clear which is going to be the right objective for you, you go on formulating the strategy, which is the strategic formulation process. If you look at the first 3 steps in the strategic management process, this is basically done at the top level. Right? Top levels are involved, the directors, the board of directors are involved, when you do this. After you have formulated the strategy, what is very, very important is the strategic implementation process. The strategic implementation process is called as the action phase of the strategic management process, because now here is it where you go about implementing it. Now, when you are implementing the strategy, we need to understand that every corporate has got a corporate strategy. Look at the example of Tata Sons that I gave. Then you have a business level unit strategy, which is a company like TCS, etc. And then you have a functional level strategy, which means all the different functional department in the organization. Once the strategy is formulated, every department, every divisions of the organization needs to come together as a team to work towards achieving those goals, objective, achieving therefore those strategies. It's a lot of teamwork. So when you, and these are the people at every level, they need to implement the strategy. So you may have an excellent plan, you may have an excellent strategic planning process, you have an excellent strategy formulation process, you have formulated the strategy A class, absolutely awesome. But when it comes to implementation, either it is not happening, or they are not doing, they don't want to do, it is difficult to implement. We thought that, oh, this is what is going to be there, but we aggressively, probably took our targets, whatever be the reason, but we need to implement. Now we implement the strategy. When we implement the strategy, we continuously go on evaluating and controlling, which means that when we evaluate and control, now why we evaluate and control? Because when we made the strategy and decided the strategy in the first place, the environment at that point in time, both the macro and the micro environment were in a particular phase, let's say A. After you implemented, let's say 2 months time or so, or 1 month time or so, 1 week time or so, 6 months time or so, it may happen that the environment will change. You do not know, right? Like I just gave an example. Yesterday, there was a devaluation of the yuan at the second time and the currency fell down. And because the currency fell down, what happens is there was a hue and cry. Now companies which are earning in foreign currency, obviously because the rupee got depreciated and came to 65 rupees, what happens is their business went up. Because of obviously they are going to get a higher value, their business on the other hand, other companies who are basically importing, right, their business came down, that business comes down. So in such a situation, what happens is that, but that was not predicted, right, by the company. Nobody knew, right, that after 1 month time the Chinese will do like this. You don't know. So therefore, we have to analyze the entire industry as a such, competition as a such, the global environment as such. You need to understand the macro, micro factors as such, which is what we are going to talk about the second and the third chapter. We're going to talk about that. So therefore, if you are properly evaluating and controlling, that you know what to do, then you know what to do, right? Okay. A simple example also could be for people who were investing into shares or who are investing into shares, never thought that ICICI Bank will come down, never thought that Infosys would go up so high. So probably what they may do, probably book profit in Infosys, or probably change their plan, strategic plan, and maybe try to buy good value companies at certain dips. Now, why you need to do that? If you are evaluating, then only you can control. But if you are not evaluating, we just cannot control. Is it not? We just can't control. This is the strategic management process. Another thing I should tell you before I start, which is, I spoke when we are doing a SWOT analysis, you see, we need to understand that we talk about strength and weakness. Let's see this, strength and weakness. Another way how you formulate a strategy. You talk about strength and weakness. Whereas strength and weakness both are internal to the company. Strength and weakness are internal. मेरे में है. Strength is in me, weakness is in me. Whereas the opportunities and threats are E. E means opportunity and threats are external to the company. Okay, so when a company needs to decide what it needs to do, they need to have that. Every company needs strength which is maximum, and every company needs weakness which is minimum. Look at yourself. When you do a SWOT analysis of yourself, if you have got an objective, if you have got a career map, if you have got a career planning, if you know what you need to do at what level, if you know that this is the level of package that I want, this is the designation that I want, if you have charted out a very clear-cut career plan, now that career plan has obviously got certain objectives and which you have set for yourself. When you have set those objectives for yourself, you have done a SWOT analysis as to where are we, what is my strength. So what is your strength? You require maximum strength. What is your weakness? You require minimum of weakness. What is your opportunities? You require maximum opportunity. What is your threats? You require minimum threats. Is it not? Are you with me on this? Therefore, when we talk about the first column is called as SO. What is SO? Strength and opportunity. Strength and opportunity is the first column. It is called as SO. Dear friends, whenever the company's strength is meeting opportunity in the market, which means maximum, strength maximum, opportunity maximum. Whenever your strength meets the opportunity in a market, what will happen is it is sure short success. Always remember this. It is sure short success. So when we formulate a strategy, we find out is the strength of the organization in line with the opportunities which are there. If the strength of the organization are in line with the opportunities there, we know that we have sure short success. We go on when we formulate a strategy, we go on amplifying, we go on understanding, we go that what are the strengths and what are the opportunities in the market. Can we tap those opportunities in the market? So we need to continuously. So this is called as SO quadrant. The next quadrant is we call as ST. What is the next quadrant? ST. S for strength, which is here, and T here. ST. ST is maximum. Strength is maximum and threat is minimum. See, whenever you have looking at, I want strength which is maximum, but I want threat which is minimum. But here the threat and opportunities are external to the company. I cannot control that. I don't know what will happen, right? Devaluation of rupee, it may happen, right? Is a threat, right? New competitor may come in, it may happen. I don't know, right? I don't know. Now it is not there. I'm not seeing that in the future there have any plans to come, but I don't know, right? I require strength which is maximum and threat which is minimum. ST. When you are operating in a market where your strengths are there, but you have a bigger threat in the market, your chances of success will be 50-50, right? Because you don't know, right? Then what is the threat and what the threat is going to do. The third quadrant is say WO. WO means weakness and opportunities. Weakness is minimum, opportunity is maximum. So if I am operating in a market where there is a lot of opportunities, but I have got a weakness, lot of opportunities, but I have got a weakness. In such a situation, what happens? I may not succeed because opportunity is there, but मैं नहीं करना, मेरा weakness है. So what I can do is I can change or I can work on my weaknesses and change it into strength. So I may come to SO area and therefore I will maybe successful. When we do career counseling, when we do career coaching, I'm coaching a lot of CEOs and mentoring. We have to understand that yes, we have a weakness. Everybody has. I also have. You also have. Everyone has. But dear, if that weakness is a weakness, there's a lot of opportunity which is not going with that opportunity in the market. Now, what I need to do? Very simply, I need to work on that weakness. Sometimes I ask in interviews, tell me, dear, right? Tell me what are 3 areas of improvement or the one major weakness that you have in the job in the job thing. I am shocked to know that many people are not able to even answer that. Don't know that, right? What is the weakness? If I don't know what is my weakness, how do I work on that? If the company doesn't know what is the weakness, finance could be a weakness. Getting good guys and giving them good salary and retaining them could be a weakness. Attrition rates in the company could be a weakness. My product is not technologically superior to be in the market, and there is a superior technological product now available in the market, could be a weakness. My market shares are not as high and there are other major competitors who are doing well, could be a weakness, right? So what are those weaknesses that we have? We need to understand them. Once we understand those weaknesses, dear friends, once we understand those weaknesses, dear friends, let us understand that we need to understand the opportunities which are there. We need to work on those weaknesses, convert those weaknesses into strength. Opportunities are already there and you will be successful if you work hard to convert your weakness into strengths. But if you do not work hard and you are there always, you may always have opportunities, but you will not be able to do anything. Success chances goes down drastically. Some people are there, a lot of opportunity in the market, but they don't want to go and try. They don't want to take that risk, They don't want to go ahead. They feel, oh, defensive strategy. Okay. Sometimes this defensive strategy could be a weakness. Yes, sometimes. I'm not saying always. Sometimes the defensive strategy could be a weakness. If this is a weakness, there are a lot of opportunities. You are not trying different things. Chances of success have drastically gone down. Right. On the other hand, if you work towards improving your weaknesses, going into the strength area, you have the opportunity and you have the strength to meet those opportunities, dear friend, you will be successful. So when we do formulate strategy, we look at that. The third one is what we call as WT. We are in weakness. Mera weakness we have, and there is a big threat in the market. If there is a weakness and a threat in the market, sure short failure, better to move out of that business. I give this example in PCP also. Wipro. Wipro is a very big IT company and also into consumer products. They wanted to come into baby product segment. The weakness was company was known as an IT company. J&J, which is the biggest threat in that market, was known as a baby care product company. So there was a big threat in that market. And weakness of Wipro was that they were unable to probably, because they were known as an IT company. So WT came together, they worked on that and they went out of business. Out. WT. Now, you can change your weakness into a strength, yes, right? So you probably, can't probably work very hard on that and probably come to WT, when, weakness to strength. So you could probably come into the ST segment. However, the thread will remain, but you are strong in that market. So there may be chances that you will survive. Now, it will depend upon how and what competition is doing and how you are combating your strategy vis-a-vis the competitor and how you will be able to work together. That is something which you need to. So the question mark comes up. You may be, you may not be. Only time will tell. This particular matrix there is called as the TOWS matrix. TOWS, SWOT का उल्टा, TOWS matrix, TOWS. Okay, it's called as the TOWS matrix. TOWS, SWOT को उल्टे से लिखते हैं, TOWS matrix. Dear friend, this is, I think, not in your book. This is not in your book, so I thought I will just tell you, because since I'm telling you how to formulate a strategy. And if you go back to where I just drew this thing here, where I drew this thing and I said SWOT. Along with SWOT, now I will tell you, we also do TOWS before we formulate a strategy. SF. Are you clear? It's so simple. Strategic management is very simple here. Very, very simple, right? And we need, but if you do not understand, it's very complex. Very complex. Okay. So therefore, dear, what we need to do is, so I explained you the entire subject as such, dear. If you look at your thing, we will do fundamentals, analyze, then mission objective, then we will do corporate level strategy, then we have business unit level strategy, then we have functional level strategy as a chapter, then we have strategic formulation as a chapter, then we have strategic implementation as a chapter, then we have evaluation and control as a chapter, and then globalization strategy, etc. I explained to you in summary, the entire strategic management. Okay, so that is what we need to do. Okay, entire strategic management process. So let us now, I'll take a pause here and let us start with what we call as this thing. You see, yes, I will display the TOWS matrix. Yeah. This is TOWS. Ulta है, SWOT का उल्टा. Okay, SWOT का उल्टा is TOWS. Strength, weakness, internal to the company. मेरे में है, strength मेरे में है, weakness मेरे में है, internal to the company. If it is internal, you can work on it. Opportunity, threat, external to the company. I have no control, uncontrollable. So if you look at this quadrant, we have SO, which is strength as well as opportunity. When strength meets opportunity, we are successful. Example. Let's take an example. Suppose I give an example of Wipro when it comes to WT. Suppose there's a great opportunity for good professors, good marketing professors, in the market, and big institutions, big education institutions are looking for great people who can teach, you see. So there is a lot of opportunity in the market. If I have the strength, let's say, I have, I have a management qualification. I have a PhD. I have 25 years of experience. I can communicate well. I am able to deliver lectures well. I have research papers below my belt. I know what are the things I am actually in the industry looking at ABC, which means my strength will meet opportunity and I will definitely be successful. On the other hand, dear, if there is the same opportunity which is there in the market, but I am not a PhD, I do not have this kind of an experience. When I communicate, I don't understand what I am saying, forget what others will understand, right? What will happen is I don't know, I cannot trust, I don't know how to go about. I may not have that kind of an experience to relate to people. I have a very limited thing, which means that there are opportunities, but I have a weakness. In such a situation, I will not be successful. And then I put a value here. But on the other hand, if I work towards, oh, I have to be in this line, this is the major thing, this is where my career is, this is where I want to grow, and therefore I may decide, oh, let me go a PhD if I'm not. So I enter and do a PhD. So I'm trying to convert my weakness into strength. Let me go and take some coaching in communication. Let me go and probably have some good amount of case studies that I talk about through my experiences, and how do I communicate those through case studies in actual classroom sessions, right? How do I go about doing a debate and controlling and coordinating the entire thing, right? Now these are strengths that I need to do. So I may work towards my weaknesses, towards my strength. If I am able to do that, I will be successful. If I'm not able to do that, I don't know. Question mark. If it is in WT, weakness threat means sure shot gone. I have a weakness also, and there's a threat in the market. Which means in this example, everybody is a PhD, everybody can be communicating well. There are, people who are cats in that business, Karke, who are so good, and I am not having those things. Obviously, I will never be successful. So WT means I am gone. I am gone. WT gone. Business is gone. You need to go out of the business. You are gone. Okay, and ST, strength and threat. I have a strength in the market. I have these strengths with me, but there are other professors also who are very good, right? Very, very good. Which means that when I go for an interview and they take me, it depends upon how do I perform on that day, because I have the requisite strength. But along with me, there are other people also who are major threats there, who are major threats. So what is important is on that day, how people are looking to me, and on that day, what I do compared to what they do. On that day, you see how I go and project myself, and if it is good, better than them, I may get a job, I may get the job, I may get the project, I may get the business. Whereas if I am not able to do, I may not. So therefore, if I am into the ST quadrant, I may say question mark, because I really, really don't know what will happen. What will happen, right? Are you clear? That this is what is very important. Right, this is very important. Yeah, TOS matrix very important. When I mentor people, they come for coaching to me. We are coaching, and I go about making, first finding out what are the different strength weaknesses they have, what are the opportunity traits that they have, and then we work on towards improving weaknesses to strength. It is not only just writing a piece of paper that this is what the areas that I work on, this is what I need to do. Suppose I say that I need to do a PhD in this simple example, right? Now I say, but I don't. So what is important is not only formulation, what is important is implementation. What is important is continuous follow-up. What is important is evaluation on regular basis. What is important is control at requisite time. If required, moving ahead and then probably going ahead and doing it. We need to do these things. This is strategic management. I also went on to say to a few people in the PCP that if you want to be successful in your life, you also need to have a strategy in place. Only a plan will not suffice because you have competitors. I am your competitor. You are my competitor. There will be so many people who are competing with one another for the same job, for the same business, for the same service, for the same money, for the same profitability, for the same salary, for the same market share, etc., etc., etc. So dear, if I don't have a strategy to combat with people, how will I be successful? So therefore, dear, I always say success is your thinking to be successful in the first place. And then comes about formulating what you need to do, when, how, what, where, why. Right. And when you have answered these questions, right, which we do in our sessions, and then we do a SWOT, and after we understand the SWOT, then we do a toss, and once you do a toss, then we understand what we need to do. You need to consolidate your strengths continuously and need to improve your areas of improvement, which is weakness, continuously, dear. And you need to understand what is the changing market looking at, because what is your strength today may be redundant tomorrow, right? What you feel that you're good at will be take a simple example of a medical doctor. You see how medical is changing, right? And if the doctor who has learned his studied maybe 20 years back, he need to continuously study, we call it CME, right? Continuously study, continuous medical education, continuously study, so that he needs to be abreast on the latest technology, on the latest diseases which comes in, on the latest things which is there. If he is not, dear friend, if he is not continuously doing that and sitting down thinking, well, I am experienced, he will not be successful. Dear friends, today also, trust me, I do at least 3-4 courses. I as a participant, I go and enroll myself and do these courses in India and abroad. Dear, if you will not be evaluating what are the recent technologies which are coming up, if you are not looking at what is the medical recent coming, everything is changing, boss. Change is the only constant in this world. Right. Always remember, change is the only constant in this world. So we need to understand, right, that we have to work towards that change. We have to work towards that way, and then only will be successful. Many people ask me that, sir, success, you did so many companies. I said, dear, it is just a matter of mind first, deciding you need to do, and then whatever required to do, you need to do. Once you do that, you will obviously be successful. And this requires a strategy. So you require a strategy. Don't look at this subject. It's a tough subject. I've already said this, not very easy one. It is really tough. You need to understand what is this. And most of the question in your examination will be based on the application orientation of the subject rather than the theory testing. So please understand the subject per se, not ratify the theory. Okay, so we need to understand that. Any questions I will take? Anyone has any questions? Okay. Change is the game. Yes, dear. Shilpa says, you are a really good example, sir. Thank you very much, dear. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Good explanation. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Rikesh. Thank you very much. God bless you. You know I'm good, dear. Okay. Who decides and makes and decides the functional level strategy? Vasanti, functional level strategies are decided by the functional departments in the organization. But the strategy per se is divided up at the formulation level and then probably percolated down. I am sure there in your company, if you are working, Vasanti, there may be certain things where your managers or department had said, this is what we need to do. Let's go ahead. Tell me, how do we go about doing it in a better way? Which means that he is trying to find out better ways to implement what he is asked to do. Right? So what he is asked to do and what other departments have been asked to do together will meet the strategy. And that's a formulation. So formulation is decided at the top level. Implementation is decided at all hierarchical levels. Am I clear, Vasanti? Any question? I've already told you that, dear. If you do not have a competitor, you require a plan. If you are operating in a competitive environment, you need a strategy. Okay, you need a strategy if you are looking at a competitive environment. Are you clear? Yes or no? Any more questions? Any more questions? Is the objective clear? Any more questions? Is the objective clear? Okay, clear. Very good. Very good. Okay. Very nice. Okay, thank you. So now what I'll do is I'll be moving up. I will be moving up, as to how do we go. So formulation of a strategy is one chapter in Suprakash. Okay, which is chapter number 8. We will be talking about that in chapter number 8 there. Okay. Fundamentals of strategic management. Will understand purpose of strategic management is to align the organization's mission with the external world, to create long-term value for shareholders, right? Very simple. That's the purpose. Why are we doing it? Because we have to understand what is happening, what is my vision. We have to unlock the potential which we have. It brings about balance between the internal and the external environment, which I'm going to talk about in the next chapter. Strategic management is critical business process for any organization, which has a long-term vision to be leaders in the business, boss. Right? You have to, again, I would go a little further to say that leaders, everybody wants to be a leader in business, and therefore every good organization who is there for long or who will come into that business wants to be a leader one day, and therefore every good organization, every good company needs to have a strategy in place. An environment changes the organization. If the environment changes, the organization may change the vision and objective to change or meet the changing market requirements. I have already spoken about this, dear friends, to you. And therefore, what are the fundamentals of strategic management? I have already discussed with you. We have to understand what is the fundamental of a strategy. That's what we are doing. We have to understand what is the industry in which we want to operate and who are the competition in that industry. We need to understand the internal and the external environment. We have done this in marketing management. We will do it again. Then we need to understand the different levels of strategy. I explained to you 3 levels of strategy: corporate level strategy, business unit level strategy, as well as functional level strategy. So I explained to you the 3 levels, then formulation, then implementation, then evaluation and control. And with that, obviously, we cannot do any strategy in a very good way, dear, if we do not have leadership quality. So leadership is very important. And obviously, then last but not the least is corporate governance. All these are one chapters in our book, which we are going to study. Now, we have to understand the global economic scenario. You know, it's filled with uncertainties and challenges. This example which I gave about the Chinese, currency being devaluated is yesterday's example, right? You look at it, a lot of uncertainties. We thought that GST will be passed. We are trying for GST for so long. We thought GST will be there and GST will be passed in this time's parliament. But if you look at it, dear, this was also not cleared. Uncertainties. We don't know. With GST clearing, maybe our GDP would have gone up by 1 to 2%, they say. There would have been a uniform taxation throughout the country, But yet, it just did not work, It just did not work. So a lot of uncertainties and challenges. I'm just talking about today. Corporate facing challenges in terms of predictability of their businesses. We don't know, right? We don't know. Like it is asking me, sir, what is GST? Read the papers, dear. You don't do only management by reading a book and clearing and be an MBA. Yeah, read the book, right? It's goods and value added tax which we are talking about, together. Goods and service tax together, only one uniform taxation throughout the country. There's a lot of hue and cry in the parliament when BJP is trying to clear that, they are not getting it cleared. So GST, if implemented, there will be one uniform taxation which will increase the GDP of India by about 1 to 2%. That's what the economics says. I don't know, but that's what they say. What I'm trying to say is that you read papers, dear. Be in touch with what is happening. Look at industry. I even told in PCP, get into the share market, not because of earning money only, but because of studying how companies are operating, what is the company doing, what the company wants to do. I gave an example, I think, I don't remember here only, I think, very recent example that only 2 days back, there was this Infosys I was talking about, and I said, is it right? Was I talking about Infosys in your class? Did I speak about Infosys? Just remember me because I'm speaking to so many people. Yeah. Kaushiki says, yes, sir, you spoke about it. You remember, dear, I spoke about 8.1 billion sales they had done. They were saying that by 2020, they will do 20 billion sales, Now look at it from 5 years, from 8 billion to 20 billion is more than doubling the sales. More than doubling the sales is about 15, 16, 17, 18% growth year on year, How is he going to do it? So he formulated a strategy. We will get into this space, digital space, this space, this space, this space. We were operating into 50 countries, we'll get into this countries, etc., 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 etc. Now, dear, these are those of things, of challenges, uncertainties. You never know what's going to happen. You know what is happening in the Greek market. Right. Today also, if you saw the news, see, most of you have these kind of phones, on your smartphones with you, dear. Don't do only WhatsApp. you know, Look at it. Economic Times, move the app down, right? उसको देखो ना बच्चा, ज़्यादा time नहीं लगता. Know that, dear, right? You see, read what is happening. What is happening in the market? How will you go up, dear? One of the strengths which you require is knowledge. You need to have knowledge. Yeah. You need to study. You need to show. You need to understand what is happening, dear. Right? There's a lot of world is now filled with new socio-economic challenge. You see what's happening in the Greek and Euro, European, they bailed Greek out twice or thrice. We don't know what's going to happen then. A few years back, Lehman Brothers, the biggest financial company went for it, Insolvency came into. We need to understand what is happening in the market. What are the challenges which are there? What is happening in the European market? What is happening in the Japanese? What is happening in the Chinese? These are global things which affects us here, which really, really affects us here, which affects our market. Very important. Right? We need to understand all of them. Large enterprises employ many structural strategic marketing model. They have to understand what is the size of operations that they have. They need to understand that who are stakeholders and how many of them and what are their views, what are they looking at. They need to understand, dear, that every marketing people, every company needs to understand all that. And what is the importance? Performance of a company will be best managed if its strategic management process is in place. And I'm sure for last 1 hour, 6 minutes, I've been talking about this. As you have seen, right from mission and vision to SO, strength and opportunity. You need to be successful. You will be successful only when your strategic management process is in place. Friends, you and me also will be successful if our strategic management process is in place. Right? I do this for individuals, There, then only they will grow. Otherwise, they will not grow. You may have all the things that are required, right? Yes, but probably you are in a threat. You may have bigger threats. If you cannot work on this, if you cannot imply this, difficult, boss. Difficult. And if you are in W and WT, anyway gone. So only one area quadrant where you will be successful, which is SO. So if you have some strength, you will work on those areas only. But you will also have to look at other area, because you never know when that opportunity, which is an external factor, which is an opportunity today, may be a threat tomorrow. You never know. And those are uncontrollable. So all of a sudden, when we're in an SO area, all of a sudden you will find, oh my God, you got into ST. So now you understand why continuous consolidation of your strengths, why continuous consolidation of your weaknesses, how continuous evaluation of what you are doing, how continuous understanding of what are the changes taking place in the market, the economic changes, the social cultural changes, the technological changes, the political changes. You need to understand the environmental changes, the legal changes. You need to understand all of them here. Otherwise, how are you going to be successful? If you want to be a CEO running a few companies, at least one company, forget a few company, how would you do that? So you need to understand that strategic management is the foremost important to the success of any organization which aspires to become a leader in its own domain. That's what I have been speaking, is it not? That's what I've been speaking, dear, that it is very, very important, very, very important. It helps an organization to build its vision for the future. If you start with your strategic management process to grow in your, grow, grow in the company, or wherever, whatever you want to do in your business, you need to have a vision for the future. It helps people to understand the vision and what is the organization stands for. Why am I here? What is my vision? What am I saying? What I am looking at? I want to be the leader in the healthcare business by 2030. You see, I read the other day, ITC chairman Dave, he says that we will be doing 1 lakh crores of sales by 2030. Dr. Sikka, the CEO of Infosys, says that I want to do 20 billion US dollars by 2020. So these are visions, right? This is what I want to do. I will be doing it. What is your vision, dear? I want you to think if you don't have one. Think about it. Strategic management process makes you think about what is your vision, what you want to do. What you want to do. Let me tell you, when I started my career, I was clear that when I was 25, I should be in the middle management, and when said when I was 30, I should be in the top management. And I said when I will be 31, 32, I should be heading the country. There, all the strength which was required by way of qualification I had. I was working towards experiences. I was working to have a lot of experiences in various division, departments, businesses, domain space. I was continuously trying to improve my experience, my network, my communication. I was continuously adding towards my skills, making people, talking to them, understanding, taking guidance, taking professional help. Even went on to do mentoring. I still do for mentoring. I am continuously coach. I mean, like I am coaching, I am also being coached by someone. So I am coaching, mentoring. Otherwise, who is going to tell you, dear? Right? Only professional require coaches. Amateur do not require coaches. Yeah. Sachin Tendulkar has a coach. I am a batsman. I may play good. I don't require a coach. I'm an amateur. I don't require a coach. Only professional requires coaches, dear. Only professional requires mentors, dear. Many people tell me, sir, you see, I said, yes, only professional requires coach. People who are not professional, they don't require a coach. They feel I can do it. I'm good. Can Sachin can't do it? Was he not able to do it? Does he require a coach? You may say no, but he says, without a coach, I am nothing. Whatever I am and whatever I am going to be is only because of my coach. Why? Because when I am playing the game, I don't know what I am doing. I don't know, because when I know what I'm playing the game, I know my strength, know my weaknesses. Competitor is studying who is my strength and what are my weaknesses. And therefore, they will always go and see that what they should do to pitch the ball on the area of my weakness so that I'm not able to play that ball properly and I'm out. So if I am improving on my way, my competitor, who is my bowler, is also improving on his strategy as to where do we put the ball to him. Now, who is going to tell him what to do? Right? It's the coach. Dear, this is what, every person who is at a certain level requires a coach. Many people tell you do mentoring program, you do coaching program, you feel it is required. I said yes and no. Yes, only professional requires coaching and mentoring. And if you look at any sports guy, if you look at any CEO, but these are all confidential in nature, so nobody goes and talks about it there. But let us understand, if you look at CEOs, if you look at any professional cricketer, boxer, tennis player, look at anyone here, everybody has a coach. Correct me if I'm wrong. And only professionals therefore have coach, because these professionals want to really do well in life. They want to really know, because they know it's a competitive environment. They want to do well in life. When I started about 10 years back this business of coaching and mentoring the CEO and VPs and the general manager, you see, I myself was being coached for last 10 years, and today also I am being coached. Okay, so we have to understand all this here, right? People feel it is waste of money. Going to someone talking waste of money, waste of time. No professional thinks so. He spends a lot of time only with the coach. He said, kya karna hai? What do I go ahead and do? Now, since I spoke about Sachin, now if you look at Sachin, look at his coach has not even probably earned, I think, 1 lakh times, 1 divided by 1 lakh, what Sachin earns. Is it not? Has he got that kind of aura, right, and fame as this guy has? Absolutely, the answer is no. The money, the fame, the power, right, he has. Does his coach has? No. Who is bigger? That guy. But when that guy says that, dear, you are here, but I am nothing without my coach. And you will see everybody talks in the same line. But when I say everybody, I mean only professionals who want to do well. Only people who want to do well invest in themselves to do well. Only organization who want to improve their business, their productivity, their profitability, invest in their companies, invest in marketing, invest in people, invest in training, invest in technology, invest in changing ways that people are looking at. Only they do it, na boss. Other people feel required, so they remain where they are. That's the difference, boss. That is the difference. Okay, let's understand this. Yeah. And I'm sure I am not talking any rocket science. I'm talking things which you are aware of. I'm just trying to tell you to understand this thing. Awareness is one thing, understanding is another. Please understand, right? If you would like to do well, only getting a piece of paper as any degree, whether PGDM, MBA, PhD, DCS, etc., etc., is not going to help you, dear, if you do not know what is happening in the world. You will not be able to do that. No, dear, no, Virendra, no, right? Will not be able to do in the world. Let us understand that. So therefore, it helps an organization builds its future. So you can also build your future. You helps the people to understand what the organization stand for. We can do better delegation, better controlling. We have to do that, dear. Right? We have to do that better delegation, and we have to do that better controlling. Take their link, beta. Take the links, Mesh. Okay. Organization, therefore, the process can also sure the process does not. However, with all this also, the process may not give you unconditional success. Because like I said, that if I have a coach, my competitor also has a coach. If I am doing well, if I don't have, then anyway I'm finished. But if I have and I am clear, that doesn't mean if I am clear on my strategic management process, that doesn't mean that I will get unconditional success. I need to continuously analyze. If without proper due diligence, I probably may be using a wrong strategy. Many people come and ask me and tell me that, sir, I want to do my specialization next year in this subject or that subject, sir. Please guide me. And I normally do not. Because see, how can I guide you until and unless I know you? How can I guide you until and unless I know your strength, your weakness, your opportunities and threat? How can I guide you? And many a times you say this is your strength, but in your mind it may be your weakness. How do I guide you? Dear friends, let us understand, right? You have to look at, dear, what is it that you need to do, dear. You have to, I mean, I always say this, that, खड़े खड़े कोई काम नहीं होता है. And we need to have psychometric testing done. We need to understand. There's so many. So when you will be looking at higher levels in organization, when your CV will go to certain companies, they require an MBTI score along with your CV before they actually even see you, because they don't want to look at what you are saying as your strengths, but they need to understand psychometrically what is your Myers-Briggs theory telling you. MBTI, yeah, they want to look at that, dear. Right. So we have to, this is a type of test, Sharmila, which people want to look at. If I ask you what is your strength, you may say this is your strength. But you say this is your strength. If you are good in communication, you may convince me that this is your strength. But I need to psychometrically find out that is that your real strength. So there are different kinds of tests which come, psychometric tests which are done by HR, FIRO-B, MBTI, a lot of them there. These are all tested to psychometric things. What I am trying to tell you, I am just trying to tell you that today it has become very scientific. People do not grow, right, just because they have a piece of paper there. So all of you who are here, if you are thinking, I again and again say this, that only a piece of paper, which is your qualification, can take you up, I am sorry to say you are sadly mistaken and you will be in problem. That piece of paper is going to help you get an entry, but that piece of paper is not going to be there, No, Sharmila, no, Sharmila, this is only coaching like coaches we do, or HR psychometric testers who do these tests here and tell you what it is. Nothing is available free in life, Sharmila, not even love, Nothing is free in life, dear. Anything which is free has no value. Okay, very clear, dear. Okay, so let's understand. And if you will see it, Sharmila, you will see most of the people whom you love too much are the people who give you pain too much. Is it not? They only give you pain. Others don't give you pain. Is it not? So therefore, it's very important. I don't take anything free. I don't give anything free, dear. And I tell everyone, be a professional. Be a professional. Okay? That's very, very understanding. That's none of my, I can't comment on that, what is your name, Swati, that why psychometric tests are not done. Nobody does a psychometric test. You come and you join a course, you decide what you need to do as your specialization. We have 4,500 plus students now in for this particular thing. We can't do psychometric testing, and if you go about doing psychometric testing, psychometric test, which is a computer-wise MBTI, is charged to them. The company takes 5,000 rupees for that. Here, people cry even for coming to the PCP. Believe me, I don't know whether you came for the PCP here, right? There were no hardly, I think, 40, 50 people in the PCP. Second year, first year, second semester. Pathetic, boss. Just pathetic, right? Now, you see, yeah, okay, you were there, yeah. So what I'm just telling you, so you know how many people came, right? And 3,000 plus students are enrolled in your course also. They feel, this is where we go wrong, dear. This is where we go wrong. We feel, and you have seen some people coming out and going also. Right? So dear, let us understand that we are here. Success does not come, right, only by piece of paper, dear. Success doesn't come, right? Let us understand this, okay? So we have to understand this. So in the long-term plan, an organization is willing to pursue in order to get the mission and purpose fulfilled here. We have to understand that there are three types or nature of companies. One is called as old economy, which is steel, power, other core industry. In economics, you might have learned three levels, And second is called as traditional companies like automobile, consumer electronic, consumer durable, entertainment. The third is a new world economy, which is today. IT services, BPO, ITS, social media optimization, etc., etc., etc. Every company, you also need to do a strategic positioning as to how are you different. What is your competitive edge? Why people will take you and not someone else? Why they want to be with you and not someone else, So effort of an organization to achieve sustainable competitive advantage by continuously working towards how they can be different, how they can be distinct from the other company is called as strategic positioning. We need to continuously do strategic positioning. Okay, have you understood? You need to do that. What is this guy saying? Mahesh is saying, hey, Rishikesh. Coach is a person who never gives up and try to train and encourage people to achieve their goals. Salute to you and teachers. Thank you, dear. Thank you, Rishikesh. Thank you very much, dear. Thank you very much. God bless you and I hope you do well in life, dear. Okay, so the key to success is not get distracted by short-term opportunities. Now, this is again here where the formulation comes into play, where we have a short-term opportunity which is there, we have a short-term goal which is there, we are seeing an opportunity which is there, and we go ahead to that and we lose our long-term objective, And that's the reason your vision has to be very clear, very, very clear, dear, very clear. Okay, we have to understand that. I was just talking about the vision and I just said, see, I had a very clear goal map plan for my career because I was coaching from long, you see, it's about 30 years that I am mentoring and I'm going to a coach, very big guy. Okay, let's see, understand here, very clearly, we marked, and when I will be 25, I was in the mid-level, which happened. Now that happened only because of my qualification, which I had. And obviously, I really got into mid-level. That was grace of God, Having said that, I continuously worked into it, continuously trained, continuously coached, increased my skill set, increased my qualification, improved my attitude, improved my networking, going ahead. And then when I was 28 and a half or 29, I became the top management as VP, And then as I was going ahead, I had, and then 30, 31, I wanted to head the country. It was not happening there. I was not getting, I was promised, and then it was not happening because, in 1996, globalization had come into place, economic reforms came into place. Dr. Manmohan Singh was finance minister there, and he opened the economy, and a lot of franchisees were coming into India, and I was supposed to head one of the franchisee, but it was not happening, and I was losing patience, and just in order to probably be on to my goal, and I had a dream, to be on my own, I left the company and started my own. Dear friend, it is very important to have your vision very, 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 very clear in your mind. If your vision is clear in your mind, you know your strengths, you work towards it, and we will be able to definitely do well there. And that's what is called as strategic positioning. And what should be long term in nature and future oriented. It should be long term in nature, future oriented. It should leverage the company's vision and compassion. What is it I'm here for? My passion. I want to do it, dear. What is it for here for? It should consider the internal and the external factors in the organization. It should evaluate the different choices that can be made. It should be resilient. There are 3 levels of strategy. I've already spoke about it. Corporate strategy, data science, SBU strategy, PCS, functional strategy, different level. I've already spoken about it here. And therefore, we will see what is a corporate strategy. In corporate strategy, we understand what is the vision, business that the enterprise wants to pursue. For example, in this example which I showed you, Tata Sons probably in order to found Kia, now we want to grow further. What do I do? We need to diversify, and therefore they came up with an airline, and they joined hands with Singapore Airlines and started with Tata. Right? So what is the business the enterprise wants to pursue? What is the business the enterprise wants to pursue? Expansion strategy, diversification strategy, whether we will merge a company, acquire a company, and then merge a company, merger and acquisitions. We need to really understand and answer all these questions. SBU strategy will be the company. Example, TCS. TCS will decide its own strategy. Vistara as a company will decide its own strategy. Taj Hotels will decide its own strategy. Tata Housing will decide its own strategy. Tata Power will decide its own strategy. Tata Motors will decide its own strategy here. Tata Tea will decide its own strategy. So every business will be an SBU, and they will decide their own strategy, which is SBU level strategy, which they have to decide as to how are they different than their competitor and how they are going to meet their competitors. And finally, you will have functional strategy. That what are the different things that we need to do to meet our functional objectives. Now, what are the principles of a good strategy? Very simple. Essence of strategy lies in creating tomorrow's competitive advantage faster than competitor. Dear friends, I have been telling you from the time we have started, and I looked at yourself. I said you need a strategy. And I even told you that the essence of your strategy will be what you want to become tomorrow. And what is it that tomorrow will need? Do I have it in me? If I don't have it in me, I will have to get that in me so that I will have a competitive advantage over my colleague, over my peer, over my colleague. Right? If I don't have that, I cannot work on an assumption that all size will fit all. I can't work on that assumption that all size will fit all. I need to understand that everyone is different. I need to create competitive products to beat the competition. It could be a technologically better product. It could be benefits that I'm offering better. And we need to have a good strategy in place. And the key holders are the shareholders in the company, are the board of directors, top managements like CEO, SBU heads, at this key band. The SBU heads are also part of the keyboard here, right? Tata Sons are the part of board. Tata, they are the stakeholder in the company. So all their business unit head are also part of this, So they come here, and the heads of function comes here, and therefore they will decide what we need to do. What is the role of board of directors? Simple. They have to understand corporate governance, have to get into compliance, they have to look at risk management, right? And they need to understand that we have to develop a corporate strategy. We need to give a direction to the organization. We need to have a vision and mission very clearly understand. We have to hire, fire if required, CEO, the top management in the business, dear. We need to understand that, succession is who follows, dear, who follows the next. That is called a succession. Evaluation, control, monitor, supervise. I've already said that. Review, approve things which are there karke. Monitor what is happening. Are you in line with what we thought? Evaluate what is happening. And therefore the role of top management in strategic management is very crucial. It will provide leadership to the organization. It will try to convert the mission into vision and vision into objectives and goals and strategy. It has to manage the strategic planning management process. It has to implement, evaluate, and control process. And the top management is very, very crucial in this. If they are committed, they will empower the authority and the responsibility and the accountability to different leaders at different level of the hierarchy in the organization, so that together as a team we are able to do what we think we will be able to do. And the top guy there, CEO, he has to have a leadership. He has to have vision. He has to know. I gave that example of Dr. Sika, who was brought in as a CEO of Infosys, and it was the first time that a person from outside has been brought into the company. Otherwise, all the future CEOs, MDs have been people who were founder members, and slowly they became a CEO, and therefore they were working. It is the first time that they got someone from outside, and his leadership, his vision, I read this thing when Dr. Narayan Murthy, the chairman of Infosys, went on to say that Dr. Sika's plan are very, very ambitious, which is 20 billion by 2020. He has taken a very ambitious target on himself. And let's see and let's pray and let's hope and let's do everything possible to see that Infosys gets to 20 billion by 2020 from 8.1 billion US dollars in 2015, 14-15. So dear, we have to understand that CEO presents role to others. CEO sets example in terms of behavior. CEO communicates well and is willing to follow through by coaching. Again, you see, willing to follow through by coaching people, by himself also being coached here. That's what I told you as we move ahead here. And therefore, what is important is that key function and responsibility of the corporate planning division is basically to keep track of the latest development which is happening in the SMP process. Understand information which is important. Get those information, give it to the stakeholders, form strategies, supply chain, be analytical, identify new business opportunities, help to establish planning systems, formulate and guide the policy, and then came the strategic management consultant who comes into play. I am one of them as strategic management consultants, right? Moving into, look at the dictionary, Sharmila. These are very simple things. Open the dictionary and you understand the meaning of this, dear, right? Okay. So what we do is that we are talking about organization avail services of strategic consultant. I am a strategic consultant to so many companies, right? Make use of the specialized services. Make up for inadequacy of the corporate or group planning cell. Here I would not say inadequacy, dear. Inadequacy is not the right word. There are people who are so much educated, qualified, experienced in the company, yet they take someone from outside as a consultant because they feel that this guy has the experience and this guy is not working under that direct fold of the company. He's an outsider having a 30 with his experience of the industry or industries, of his vision, mission, competitive advantage. So therefore they work together, dear. Therefore, they work together, and it's very, very important, therefore, to understand this. Bring in the independent perspective in the strategic management process. So, when I am a consultant, this is not right when they say make up for inadequacy of the corporate. I am reading this line from the slide number 31, but honestly, I don't agree to this because I feel that people are too good in the company at the level of these CEOs, VPs, GMs, board of directors. They are really, really too good, dear. So it's not their inadequacy that they appoint me. No, dear. They appoint me only because of getting a third party perspective, because they feel that I will be able to help them, guide them, coach them, mentor them. I can give them perspective which is coming from outside independently without any pressure of the bosses telling that this is what I need to do. And then they want to listen to what are the various other industries which are doing, and what is the industry and what is the different competitive advantage that we can give, and together we work on it. So strategic management consultants like us, you see there are big companies also in this. So we have to understand the environment. So we'll do environmental analysis, then formulate the strategy, implement, evaluate, and control. So this is what we need to. So I will be talking about the determination of mission and objective in the strategic management process, formulation process, which we will do in detail in chapter number 8, which is in the end term. SWOT analysis, I've already explained you. Consideration of strategic options and alternatives that are there to achieve our objective, and evaluation of what we need to do there. So we need to understand that the evaluation, implementation of a strategy, review and control are all very, very, very important. With that, to summarize, therefore, strategic management is a critical success factor in any organization that aspires to be a long-term player stroke leader in that business. It is therefore very, very important to understand what are the fundamentals of the strategic management process. We need to understand that there are 4 important components if you divide. One is scanning the environment or environmental analysis. 2 is strategic formulation. 3 is strategic implementation. And 4 is evaluation, stroke review, and control. This is what is the strategic management process per se that ends your chapter. And now I'm going to load the second chapter, which is analysis of industry and competition. Okay, very simple. Analysis of industry and competition. How do you scan the environment? That is what I'm going to talk about. In the meantime, if you have any questions, right, I will be taking that. Okay. Sir, how to know yourself or sort? What is our SNB? So Harshid, if that's exactly what I said, you need to understand what are your strength areas, and you need to understand what is the areas of improvement vis-a-vis different roles that you play, and vis-a-vis different things that you want to achieve in life, Harshid. You need to have that there. Right, so most of the time, that's exactly what I said, that people therefore have external coaches, mentors who help them together understand the strength and weakness, both consciously what you are saying and what we are looking at, and subconsciously what you are thinking about through psychometric testing. We put both of them together and understand what is the right way, and then move towards it. Some people, I said that on 23rd I'm doing a master the interview program, and there are a few people I remember who came. Some people are saying that, sir, seats are full and we are not getting any place to enroll. Yes, you are right, the seats are full. However, whoever is coming, I said to them that I will be doing at least one or two psychometric test, which probably how industry, when you come for an interview, is doing now. They're giving you psychometric test, and I will tell you with that psychometric test what I understand about you. So I will be telling that in the master the interview workshop. Okay, where I will give you these tests to actually have an hands-on experience on that in case you don't have one. So I'm doing that. That is just checking what your subconscious mind is talking about. Okay. Workshops, Manav, gets full. You master the interview. We're doing it for quite some time, and by the grace of God, the workshops, gets absolutely full very, very soon, dear. So if you do not enroll for it, and because the last time we had about 53 students enrolled, so every time it's 47, 48, 52, 53. So too many students come in, and it becomes really difficult also for me. But however, we have been managing it. I don't know, I mean, how many people are there, but I have some people. I was taking a PCP last time with you, and there were some people from your batch who came to me and told me that, sir, the seats are full. We are not able to enroll. Karke. They have closed it a few weeks back maybe, and we are not able to enroll. So when I asked the administration, they told me, yes, sir, the seats are full and we can't enroll. Karke. So I said, okay. So therefore, dear, you need to enroll as soon as possible. Otherwise, it gets full, dear. You imagine so many people and only 30, 40 seats. So it gets full very fast. Okay. Okay. Yeah. What is clear, but how? Who will rectify them? You will rectify them. Harshit, it is your strengths and weaknesses which are internal to you. So obviously it's you who have to rectify, right? Who else will rectify? Okay. Who else will rectify, dear? Okay, who else? Okay, please which chapter we are on. Manisha, we just completed chapter 1, Manisha. We will be now going to chapter 2, Manisha. Okay, any other question? In the meantime, I'll take a pause and send you the second chapter, which is analysis of industry and competition. So we'll be taking a pause and we are sending you the PPT. In the meantime, if you have any questions, which what very important subject, dear, very, very important subject, from your career point of view, also very, very important subject. You need a strategy. So if you have any questions, you ask me, I will take them and I will answer them to the best of my ability and capability. And I'm very good. Thank you. Understand that should I enter or should I not enter? So I need to understand that. Then the fourth one is bargaining power of buyers. In this industry, what is the bargaining power of buyers? Is it that it's a buyer industry? Is it that it's a buyer industry and the bargaining power of buyer, right, is very high? Okay, they bargain, हमको देना पड़ेगा. We also need to understand is what is the bargaining power of suppliers, जिससे हम माल खरीदते हैं. क्या वो बहुत बड़ा पार्टी है क्या? I gave this example in BCP. I should give you. I'm working with a company. They are in medical grade packaging, and when they are into medical grade packaging, on one side is a paper and another side is a film. Now this is polyethylene film, which they buy from Reliance Industry. Reliance Industry has manufactured or has got the third biggest plant in the entire world for manufacturing of these kind of films, and they are sourcing the raw material from across the globe and also marketing and selling the to entire globe these kind of film. In India, irrespective of being a oligopoly market where we say that we will not allow anyone to operate in a monopolistic situation, yet Reliance, because of their bargaining powers with their supplier, okay, they are virtually operating into monopolistic environment. Because when they buy the raw material, they buy in such quantity that they are able to squeeze the rate from the supplier, and then they manufacture it and they give it to the customer in such good prices that no smaller company will be able to afford to make that product and give it at that price. So that is the bargaining power. Okay. So if I am a manufacturer requiring these films, my supplier has got a large bargaining power. He tells me if I give him an order of 100 tons, he tells me that the price is 1 rupee a ton. Please deposit that money in our account. Once this money gets deposited, then the stock moves. They have a great bargaining power. So Michael Porter five forces model said that every industry, when they will scan the industry and the competition in that industry, they need to look at five points. One, the intensity of the competitor in that industry. Two, what are the threats of new competitors entering that industry? Three, what are the threat of substitute products and services in that industry? Fourth, what is the bargaining power of buyers? And fifth, what is the bargaining power of suppliers? So Michael Porter said that these are very important things which we need to understand, and therefore we need to do a thorough competitive analysis of the same. We need to understand the impact of the competition. We need to understand certain companies create exit barrier in the industry. We need to understand that what is the industry all about. And entry barriers could be economies of scale, given brand identity, Johnson and Johnson very here, product differentiation, that there you have to have a very clear-cut differentiation, and the cost to enter that industry is very high. So capital requirements, very, very high. We need to understand what is the government policy. We need to understand, is the government allowing us to come and operate? Like I gave this Dubai example, anybody and everybody cannot go and operate. If I go and start a manufacturing unit, I can't do that. I have to take a shake in Dubai and then do it until and unless. Now they have created some zones, where you can go and start your thing. They have got some special zones, which you can go and do that, called as free zones, which they have started. Pehle nahi tha. You have to have a sheikh. He doesn't know anything. He has the money, right? So you have to go and do that. I tried, once, a few years back, getting into this, and this was my problem. Now I said, ki jane do, So some people, because I don't like hand twisting, right? I don't want anybody to hands. During my time, so many people went to Dubai and all, I never went because I thought the money is here in India, right? Work is here in India. So why don't I do it here? Why don't I go there? So I did not want to do that. And I don't like arm twisting. I don't like somebody to twist my arm to say, you have to do this, I don't did, never did it. I will never do it, right? Now, everybody, therefore, every company has got its own way. I'm not saying that I am right. Now, there are people who have gone there, like Rishikesh is working there. He has gone there. That doesn't mean he's wrong. Maybe he is okay with that environment. He's okay. So what I may look as a threat and an entry barrier, he may not feel so. Possible. He may not feel so. It's possible. So this also depends upon company to company and the management of that company. Do you want to do that? So some companies do not want to do, like any individual, they do not want to do it. One guy came to me, he wrote a CV and counseling from me. Yeah, he's a Muslim guy. He was working here in some company. I remember since I went to Dubai, I'll tell you. He wrote a CV for me and he came for counseling. And I look, his English was not very good. Yet he had done some MBA from somewhere. He had actually completed and he came, to me. And then he was doing some 62,000 or 63,000 here in a company, which was actually a company who was manufacturing this air conditioning करते हैं ना, सब कोई जगह लेते हैं पूरा, फिर एयर कंडीशनिंग करते हैं. तो इसका जो मालिक था, ये सीमेंस में पहले काम करता था. फिर he left that, and since he knew the entire air conditioning installation and everything, he started a company. So it was in Kurla, and this guy was doing some 62,000 rupees on that. Now he came to me and was saying, sir, I want to go to Dubai. Why? Because he was staying in Mumbai and most of the people in his building were in Dubai. I said, dear, yeah, understand, dear. You see, how much money do you think you will get? That time, I think the dirham was, now it's 17 rupees, right? Rishikesh, now it's 17 rupees. That time it was about 15 rupees or so, right? कितना है अभी dirham कितने में चल रहा है? 1738, yeah, 17 rupees. That time it was about 15 or so. I asked him कि तो कितना पैसा मिलेगा यार? मतलब 5-6 हजार दिनाम मिलेगा. मैंने कहा 5-6 हजार दिनाम तेरे को अगर मिला तो तेरे को यार 80-90 हजार रुपया मिला. यहाँ तू बीवी के साथ है, तेरा बच्चा, ही हैड अ डॉटर, तेरी मम्मी तेरे साथ रहती है, घर में आता है, खाना मिलता है, खाने के लिए उधर जाता है, एक पैसे का तेरा इधर खर्चा नहीं है, घर के साथ तो है. 62,000 तेरे को मिलता है, कम है क्या? 75 हजार उधर देगा, 80 हजार देगा, 90 हजार रहेगा, भाड़े में रहेगा, 10 लोगों के साथ मिलके रहेगा, क्या खाएगा उसका नहीं भरोसा, तबीयत खराब हो जाएगी, कोई दिखने वाला नहीं होगा, वापिस आ जाएगा, 3 साल बाद तेरे को बोलेंगे जा तेरा कॉन्ट्रैक्ट खत्म हो गया. 75 हजार के लिए 2 लाख अगर मिलेगा तो तू जा, लेकिन 2 लाख तेरे को मिलेगा नहीं. बोलते क्यों सर? मैंने कहा बिकॉज यू डोंट हैव द रिक्विजिट स्ट्रेंथ टू टेक 2 लाख रुपीज नाउ. So whatever you are getting, do that here. Work here. Whatever you are paid, you are paid well. At your qualification and your communication and your networking, you are paid well. Work hard for this company which you are working. Improve your skill set. Increase your communication. Take leadership positions. And I'm sure that this man whom you are working with and previously will obviously will fetch you a higher thing. It was about 2 years back or so, right? Believe me, he was in touch with me. He came for my courses also. He's doing. Believe me, dear. Now he's getting 83,000 rupees in the same company, and he's so happy. He was so happy that now he has got another child. Dear, understand. You see, it's basically have to understand that what are we looking at? Every company, therefore, looks at this, dear. Every company looks at this, dear. It is very, 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 very important, right? So we have to, therefore, understand that these are the things which are very important. The bargaining power of customer. But, we have to understand. Therefore, dear, to end it, focused on identifying the industry and organization is operating in a competitive scenario for its products and services. It involves an understanding the evolution of industry and industry life cycle. Customer gain bargaining power in a competitive environment. So this chapter is all about understanding the environment and moving ahead. Virendra said, sir, great sir. You said it, sir. You are right, sir. अपने घर में भी तो है रोटी भाई. Is it not? And Manzoor, yeah. Manzoor and Virendra, I told my son, beta aaja, apne ghar mein bhi hai roti boss. Let's understand here, okay, that we have to understand that if you are good, I'm again telling you, if you are good, there is immense money here. Let me tell you, my sister-in-law is in Dubai, right? My brother-in-law is in Dubai. You know how many years? I think they're in Dubai from my brother-in-law Dubai, I think about 20 years or so, and my sister-in-law is about 18 years or 17 years. In all this time that they have been there, They have not been able to even purchase 2 flats here in Mumbai. What is the point there? What is the point? And they are preparing themselves, obviously, to come back one day after spending 25 years in an environment which is easy compared to India. When I say easy, I mean traveling. I mean, because I am a frequent, I go everywhere, right? I have companies, I go for training, etc. How difficult. Yesterday, he was traveling from airport, right, domestic airport, to Thane, and he told me that, Deepak, my God, what's the traffic? I said, why? When you go from Sharjah, he's staying at Sharjah to Dubai in the morning at 8 o'clock, don't you get this traffic? Yeah, you get this traffic. Yeah, you get this traffic, right? Right. And therefore, right, traffic is everywhere. It's a mindset, boss. Traffic is everywhere. Traffic is there in Europe. You go to Switzerland. When you're going to Switzerland, oh my God, I was going bumper to bumper, Right? So traffic is there everywhere. It's your mindset, boss. Yes, you are into an aviation environment. You don't have to get into the local trains of Mumbai, and you don't have to get free massages every day. Yeah? You get Friday, Saturday off, right? When it's holiday, it's really holiday. Yeah, you get a lot of leaves, right? Yeah, a lot of leaves there because हर बड़े दिन को छुट्टी, आधे दिन half day, and then you have, see, Ramzan is little slow, so entire month, is slow because it's an holy month. They are all praying, and it's easy. It's easy. Yeah. So I say to people that people who have the qualification, experience and working can do equivalently, if not better, here in India compared to anything else. But most of the people who are there, if you look at the demography and do a survey, most of the people who are there abroad, most of the people, please don't mind my saying so, and I'm just talking about some statistics, and I'm not talking about any individuals. I have seen those people who probably have lower qualification earn there more, and therefore they go. My sister-in-law and brother both are just graduates, so they are into selling there. So they are there. They're into marketing and selling. So they are there. Because at that qualification, you may not get good amount of money and work here, which they are getting there. So fine, fine. Okay. But dear, let us understand, I always counsel and tell people, not that I am against anyone. My son was also abroad. Most of you know about it. But that was for studies. The moment that got over, I said, dear, come back. He got some 52 lakhs rupees ka job there, and he was telling me, will you give me? I said, no, never. You don't require it here, Join business, dear. This is where, and come back, dear. Come back, dear. हमारे घर में भी है रोटी बस. Is it not? Deepak is saying, sir, I was in Dubai for 7 years and came back to India in year 2012. Hope you don't go back, Deepak. Because many people who go be there and you come here after 2-3 years, fees, and then go back here now. Right? That is also, I have seen many people. Hope you don't go back. Improve your qualification. Be good, Deepak, and look out for opportunities. There are so many opportunities here in India, boss. You have to just, मैं एक ही चीज बोलता हूँ हिंदी में, that dear, पैसा नीचे गिरा है, एक आदमी की हुनर चाहिए, हिम्मत चाहिए कि वो झुक जाए और उस पैसे को उठा ले. लेकिन हम झुकते नहीं है बॉस. हम पैसे को उठाने के लिए वो काम करना पड़ेगा ना. हम कमर को झुका दे नहीं है बॉस. हम रेडी हैं सिर को झुकाने के लिए, सिर को कटाने के लिए दूसरे के पास, लेकिन हम ये रेडी नहीं हैं कि हम कमर को झुकाएं और जो पैसा नीचे पड़ा है मेहनत से उसको उठा ले बस. Is it not? Dear friend, this is what I have seen there, right? God bless you. God bless you, dear. God bless you, sir. I want to come back. Yes, you want to come back, sir. Said one day, मंजूर that one day नहीं मंजूरी मिलती है उस एक दिन की जो आया है आना चाहता है वो आ जाएगा और जो कल की बात करता है वो कल परसों तरसों नरसों वो कल कभी ना आता है बेटे भाई वो कल कभी ना आता है Yeah, I want to come back. Yeah, very nice, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I come and joined you, sir. Yeah, why not, sir? Struggling but managing. Good, good, Deepak. You will. Currently working with a company project manager. Good, Deepak. God bless you, dear. Work hard, improve your qualification, do your best, put everything that you have in the job, put everything that you have. Do well, dear. God will help you, boss. Who am I and you, boss? हम कौन है, boss? भगवान है ना, अल्लाह है बस, जीसस है, वो हेल्प करेंगे। बस अपना काम करते रहो, अपना काम करते रहो। गॉड ब्लेस यू डियर, गॉड ब्लेस यू एंड आई होप दैट यू डू वेल। आई लव यू बच्चा, गॉड ब्लेस यू डियर। ओके, क्या बात है सर, थैंक यू, थैंक यू, थैंक यू, गॉड ब्लेस यू ऑल एंड गुड नाइट, गुड नाइट। Okay, we will have another VC which people will inform you, administration will inform you. We do 3 chapters in that VC. Since last time I lost one time, I was not able to come back with this. I hope you're understanding and you're with me on this. Do well in life, take good care of your health, and be an awesome guy or gal. God bless you, and I love you. Thank you. Good night, and I'm signing off there. Bye-bye.